Today we're going to be taking a look at this Kenmore Elite upright vacuum. We're going to go over all the pros and the cons to this particular vacuum to help you decide if this is the one for you. So let's get right to it. The first thing you need to know about this is that it is an upright vacuum. So what does that mean for us? Typically, upright vacuums do a great job on carpets, but sometimes they can be not so great on hard surfaces, which makes some people prefer canister vacuums. Now, this is an upright vacuum, but we're gonna see in just a second how this actually does in real life, both on carpeted surfaces and on hard surfaces. So stay tuned for that. The next thing I do wanna mention is that this is a bagged vacuum. You can see right here, this is where the bag is located. And there are pros and cons to being a bagged vacuum. The pro is it's really easy just to change that bag, no mess at all, no banging around a canister trying to get all that dust out. You just change out the bag, throw it away, put in a new one. But the con to that is you do have to buy replacement bags eventually. I find myself using about a bag every couple months, so it's nothing crazy, but what I do really like about this model is it does have a HEPA filter to it. And for someone with allergies like myself, that's super important to kind of keep that dust and dirt at bay. So I do love that about it. I prefer bagged models of vacuums, and I love that it has the HEPA filter with it. So those are two things to definitely keep in mind. So let's talk about real life performance now. And I'm gonna show you a clip now of how it did on carpeted surface. And it blew me away how good this vacuum performed on carpeted surfaces. You can see it gets every little bit up of that baking powder that's on the floor. It does a fantastic job. 10 out of 10 on carpeted surfaces. It's beaten every other vacuum that I've used. So I am really impressed at how well this does on carpeted surface. But now let's see it perform on a hard surface, on this laminate floor, as it tries to vacuum up that same baking powder. Honestly, it still did a little bit better than I expected for an upright vacuum. It got most of it up. After you go over it a second time, it cleaned up everything else. So I would give it an average to maybe even a good score on hard surfaces as well. So it did do a decent job like most upright vacuums. It is really made for carpets, but it does hold its own on hard surfaces as well. So let's talk about attachments here. I'm gonna turn the vacuum around a little bit to show you where you will unhook this hose here to attach the attachments. You do have an extendable wand here. You do have a dusting brush or an upholstery tool right there. You do have a crevice tool here, and probably the best tool that comes with it, I'm just gonna take it out right here and show you, is what they call this pet handy mate. Now this is essentially just a smaller version of the motorized brush that you can use on stairs or couches, and it really kicks up all that pet hair and all that dirt and gives you a really, really good clean. So I love that this vacuum comes with this pet handy mate tool. This is by far my favorite attachment for it, and it just pops right there conveniently on the back of the vacuum for you. So finally, let's talk about its portability and its ease of use. It does have a 10-foot attachment reach thanks to this extendable wand here, so you can get everywhere, high and low. All those hard to reach places are now easy to reach with 10 feet of reach. And you also can go a really long way. You have, I don't know if you saw it before, a 40-foot power cable right here, so you can really get a good distance away from the outlet and not be constantly unplugging and plugging your vacuum in as you move from room to room. Finally, probably the biggest con to this vacuum is going to be its weight. It's around 20 pounds, but it does feel a little big and a little clunky. So if you have a hard time carrying things up and down stairs, if you're looking for something lightweight, this might not be the vacuum for you. But with premium performance comes a little bit heavier of a weight. So just be prepared that this is a little bit bigger of a vacuum, a little bit heavier of a vacuum at 20 pounds. Finally, I want to talk about some really cool features to this particular vacuum. Right here, it has a dirt sensor, and this will light up blue when it detects dirt and dust coming into the vacuum. So oftentimes you're using this and the carpet or floor might look clean, but it is detecting that there's dust and dirt that it's getting. So sometimes this can detect things that you can't even do. So I thought that is a really, really cool feature. Additionally, it does have a 3-motor beltless system. So you get 20% more air power and you can really see it, especially when you're on carpet. If you put this vacuum next to any other vacuum, the carpet is going to look cleaner under this vacuum. And finally, the last feature that I really like about it is it does have headlights in front, which can go a long way if you're vacuuming in not a really bright room. You'll be able to see the dirt better, and then you do have that dirt sensor for even when you can't see the dirt. That is kind of a double whammy. This vacuum is going to give you the best clean your floors have seen, especially if you're in a house with a decent amount of carpet. I definitely recommend checking out this Kenmore Elite upright vacuum.